Hey, folks, how are you? Welcome to a Sunday version of Smartphone Theater, where we celebrate National Poetry Month. I'm really glad you're here. Thank you. We have a wonderful audience as always, which is terrific. We have a lot of attendees here. We have a lot of attendees on our YouTube, which is live streaming. We're on Facebook. We're sort of all over the world. This is wonderful. This is our first Sunday. It's our first attempt at a Sunday. You know, if you guys have been watching, you know, on Fridays we are typically up at 5 o'clock, and that's what's been going on for the last 2.5 years. And today we decided, you know, people now have lives during the week. Fridays commute 5 o'clock. It's a big commute time here in LA. Well, pretty much every hour is a big commute time in LA. But we decided to try Sundays, and if Sundays work, then we're going to make a habit of it. If you have any thoughts of yourself, please let me know. Todd at Smartphone Theater. Oh, by the way, my name is Todd. I'm Todd Felderstein. I'm the founder of Smartphone Theater. I always forget to bring that up, but yes, that's who I am. And again, we have a wonderful lineup for you tonight. We are donation-based at this point in time. We are donation-based, so if you want to support Smartphone Theater, please do. Just go to smartphonetheater.com. There's a link on there that says something about donation. So smartphonetheater.com. Go on there. And then you can contribute through there, and everything else is wonderful and hunky-dory. So without further ado, we have a really big house tonight, and we have a really wonderful group. So let me introduce everybody one at a time. And if you guys, as I introduce you, just all you're going to do is turn on your video, and then I'll take it from there. So first we have Mr. Eugene Butler. Hello, GB, Mr. Eugene Butler. And then we have Miro Halliburton. Hi, Moreau. And Kevin Kelly. Come on in, Kevin. All right, there's Kevin. And Claudia Stedelin. Hi, Claudia. And Smokey Miles. Hello, Smokey. And Mr. Don Norman. Hi, Don. And Joseph Walsh. Great. Hello, Joe's. And Elaine Madsen. Just turn on your video. Perfect. Hi, Elaine. Shirley Sniderman. Great. Fantastic. And Michael Cavanaugh. Awesome. All right. So, guys, we are going to start off with Mr. Eugene Butler. He is going to dominate our screen, and there we have it. And Eugene, all you have to do is unmute yourself, and the floor is yours.
Okay. All right. First of all, I'd like to thank Todd for all the hard work he's done, because it's not easy to put this stuff together, and he's been doing it for 2.5 years. So, you know, and if you can donate, it's a great cause. Okay. This is called New Beginning. We must become an army without guns. We must fight not to conquer, but to free. We must become protesters without malice. We must march not in anger, but with love. By deeds, not just words. By example, not just thought. We cannot sit back in a world so in need. We must move forward to meet that need. We cannot wait for change. We must create change. If all are Buddha, Christian, Jew, or Muslim, then all are we, and we are all. I am you, and you are me. I'm a person in search of people. I am the people in search of a person. I chant to sing the beauty of my heart. My heart is the beauty of you. You are my heart. I chant for you. I am in search for the joy in you, and I find the joy in me. I am new to this world, but I'm old to this way of life. I seek from which I came, but I know not where I go, but I am here. The most important book I can study is me. If you're an honest worker in need of 1 grain of rice, but you've worked hard enough to earn 5, then you should give 3 grains of rice to the less fortunate and keep 2 for yourself, for you worked hard enough to earn 1 grain more than you need. In my world, there are no leaders, for there are no followers. Those who help others with clarification are to be called helpers. I release you from my ego so you may fly into my heart.
Hi, everyone. My name is Miro Halliburton, and I wrote 3 imitation poems inspired by Natasha Trethewey's Thrall. My series titled Belonging reflects on my hair journey and being misgendered in bathrooms. So the first poem is titled Elegy for My Hair. I think by now you must be swept clean from the weary salon floor. Late August, I imagine it, as it was that morning, seemingly strapped to a black swivel chair, my eyes squeezed shut. Black woman huddled around me, pulling, tugging on you, tangled, tough twists. That morning, stunned, sad, screaming, I yell for them to stop, give you a break. From all that pulling, from all that tugging, yanking, probing, an impossible feat. Little black body shaking. You are a part of me, never left me. I thought I'd have you forever. We can't untangle you. I thought you'd be there. We need to cut you off. But you left, falling to the floor that morning. Why didn't you stay? You belonged with me. I thought about the past, feeling each twisted lock of you fall around my face, each one slipping away before I could let go, replaced with short curls tight to my tender scalp. You shapeshifted, and as a result, you changed me, morphed me, stripped away my innocence. I can tell you now that I tried to take it all in, record it for an elegy I'd write one day when the time came. Your roots, I was that ruthless. What does it matter if I tell you I learned to be? You kept growing your tight curls, and when I cut you off again and again, childhood snipped away. Some nights dreaming, I sit back into the black swivel chair that held me and watch the little black girl staring back, her reflection, where I know we are headed. 4th grade, on repeat. Hiding, trying not to be found, my little black body shaking. I wait for the right timing to make my escape. My little black body shaking, I peer through the stall door to make my escape. Why isn't she leaving? Flushing the toilet, I peer once more, tall white figure. Why isn't she leaving? I take a deep breath and exit. Approaching me, the tall white mother, I feel her eyes burn through my skin as I exit, taking a deep breath. I make my way to the sink, glance in the mirror. I feel her eyes. They're burning me. What are you doing in here? I make my way to the sink. Short curls reflected in the mirror. I belong here. I belong. I do. You know you don't belong here, right? She reaches for my baggy shirt to yank me out. I belong here. I belong. I do. Get out. Disbelief and panic stricken. Reaching for my baggy shirt to yank me out. I waited for the right timing. Get out now. I really tried to hide, to not be found. On belonging. To see a flash of black, thick fur of a grizzly bear, caught in the reflection, quick movement, at the edge of thought, is to be pulled back to that morning, to the salon floor where they lay still, piles of curls, sprawling across the wooden surface, the almost saved taunting my mind, until I give up at last and turn. To face the mirror is to see it clearly, the remains, kinky tight, showing me a glimpse of the unattainable, belonging. I would give myself if I could. And then is to recall the hair ties I collected that morning, see them stuffed in my back pocket, how I'd counted them out and tucked them there, as if a guarantee. Thank you.
How you doing? My name's Kevin Kelly. I'm going to tell you this poem's title at the end of the poem, okay? Should I do them? I don't know. I'll get to them. Something has to be done about them. Maybe later when I'm ready, I could put the whole thing off till tomorrow. It's just another day. Maybe I'll have a better attitude about the day tomorrow. They don't have to be done by today. My ass isn't going to fall off if I don't get them done today. Just a matter of time, right? I mean, how many times have you heard that one, right? It's just a matter of time. What am I waiting for? Death? I should get going now. Should. It's such a terrible word. Should do this, should do that. It's purposeless. We should just stay away from that word, I think. Let it live in its own world, suck on its own tit. We don't have to use it just because it's a word. Think of all the words we don't use that we could use instead of should. There's thousands of words to cast out our judgment and throw our moral weight around. So why should we get so hung up on should? I mean, what purpose does it serve us? None, other than to create guilt. Who, what, where, shoulda, woulda, coulda, hood. Lesbian, bi, gays, transgender folks, they can't stop being who they are. So who among you can stop being who you are? You go stop now, right now. You go stop being who you are. That's right, yeah, stop. And while you're stopping, throwing the alcoholic and addicts too, they can't stop either. You think you got a problem? If you kids out there, if you hear or even think about it, you'll be in it, in for it, man. You'll be in for it. If you hear your teachers use those alphabets, I'm not talking about the ABCs, I'm talking LBGT. If you hear that LBGT, you go home and you tell your mom and daddy, and you tell them to call the police. That's right. God Almighty, this is the law. But what do you think your kids are going to be talking about in school, huh? What do you think they're going to be talking about? Tell me. What do kids always talk about? They're going to talk about what they're not supposed to talk about. That's what they're going to talk about. That's what they're going to do. They're going to whisper. They're going to shout. They're going to thinking about who is coming into the bathroom. LBGT, make those sounds, form those syllables. It's law now. It's Texas law, and Texas law is even more than law. It's a commandment of the law. And if you don't get arrested, just know you might go to jail. And if that happens, just tell the judge it's all a big mistake. Tell him I just got a little confused, Judge. I was talking about LBJ, not LBGT. That's right, Lyndon Baines Johnson, 36th president of the United States. You tell him, I'm just a kid and I got a little confused. And then you just, they'll give you a medal or something. Oh God, everybody, just stop. Stop, one moment. Stop hating each other for one moment and bombing the hell out of each other for one moment and getting all self-righteous about the God you believe in because it looks better and different than the God that somebody else believes in or doesn't believe in, whether it's a green light or a red light. Me, I go by going. That's how I got here. What am I doing here? Standing here thinking about red lights, green lights, stop and go by going. And what am I doing, for Christ's sakes? What am I afraid of? Don't I just go and do what I got to do? Why? I should have done something other than stand here looking at what I got to do. I could have taken a shower or cleaned the house or cooked a meal, thinking about that. I have other things to think about. Let me think about that. Okay, if I get it, this is an existential thing I'm hooked into here. I'm not a child. I'm a man. No one's telling me what to do in my life anymore. This is my place, my space. I sleep and dream and drink and eat here. I'm independent. I make my own decisions in life. My mom's not around anymore to tell me what to do anymore. She can't compel me like she once compelled me. She's gone. She's just dust now. And I'm still in the river. And sometimes I get caught in the river water when it rises up unexpectedly and thoughts circle around faster and faster, caught in an undertow, which will take you down. There is a difference between reflection and rumination. I do tend to ruminate, examine things too carefully. There is a difference, however, between reflection and rumination. My father called me a dreamer. He didn't say it in a nice way, though. I don't really belong in this world. You know, do you ever feel like that too sometimes? No one's paying me to write this poem or to act in that play or to pick up the guitar and sing a new song out of an old heart. When someone asks me what I want to do for a living, I tell them I'm an artist. And they ask me how I make money. I get mad, I get big, I'm in trouble because now I'm on the defensive. Now trying to reason with a square about what it's like to be living in a circle. It's just not a good fit, as they insist. Now that if I'm here to create, I must first accumulate, right? You're making a hobby of my life, they tell me. I try to express humbly what it is to be in my shoes and honor a calling and be on a spiritual journey. So they scratch their heads and they wonder why I go to bed so late and get up so early. After all, we live in America. I'm in a world market. I exist in a worldwide economy. How do I explain that if I were to join hands with them? I would have to nowhere to breathe and would suffocate and die. I'm just a work in progress, man. Aren't we all? I'm still standing here in the kitchen, next to the refrigerator and the food cabinets, next to the window and to the garden. To the garden they're gonna dig up as they penetrate the walls of my building, so I will not be able to see the sky or hear myself think. Now the sun has turned to sunset, and the sunset turns to twilight. Twilight is my favorite time. And if the light falls so softly and moves so fast, it gets dark just as you're getting used to living in it. This is bordering on the theater of the absurd, the existential moments, simple yet profound. Shut up, I tell myself. Put your head down. Go forward if you must. Take a step forward. Complete the task at hand. The train is pulling in the station. Take a breath, you jerk. Get angry. Get mad. Win one for the Gifford Spring. Baseball is back. Play ball. I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I can't do that by myself. My mind works in a particular kind of way. It takes time to get going. I can't explain why I'm always losing things I can't find. Why do I look for them if I can't find them? Still, I look. I obsess about this and that, and I'm better than I was, but not good enough, but somehow better than anyone else. God, help me. Help me do these tasks ahead of me. I need your help. I need your power. I know if I ask, the answer will come. It will arrive. I know if I ask, all is possible. Do it for me. Do it for the kid. I will take that one giant step for mankind forward. I run the water. It's no big deal. Just get it hot, but not too hot. Scrub those cups and those plates and those silverware. Put some soap on the water first, though. Okay? That's right. That's right. Do the dishes. Do the dishes. It all starts here. Do the dishes. What? I gotta dry them too? Why do I have to dry them? Here we go again. Stop, stop, stop. Stop writing. Stop writing. Put down the pen. Restraint of pen and tongue. Take that in. Take that in deep. Okay, okay. Go do your poem. Thank you.
Ode to Prolific in a private room at the Ratmore. I'm running green like a waterfall of gin. My boa constricts around a frolic of sin. My date, he just sits there starched up to the tie and whispers, "Please pass me the kidney minced pie." In 2 hours, he's touched me thrice on the hand. I wish once he'd try for a foreigner land. If soon he doesn't crave my basket of fruit, I'll dance ever so slowly and undo his suit. And there on the dance floor, he'll understand why I claim to taste better than kidney minced pie. Caviar. Sweet sour molecules divide my tongue beads wildly, cold with anticipation of sex and champagne. I beg for your salty tar to make me think again with my pelvis. A woman I know, standing in the window, she is a lone wolf, astray on her own front porch. Waiting for her girlhood, she gets her husband instead. Now retreating into kitchen light and plates rattling, This hopper whore jostles a torn American dream. Her apron is weighted to the cicada plea. She will pull back that summer spread and rest barge-like, numb. London, an autumn air contorts the spring in parks of violet roses drawn. Cool, blue-blown bundles of humans fling down terraces of April lawns. Hourly tides, far on the shore, collaborate the earthen day. No other crevice to explore except your lips to part away. Your books surmounted in my mind, your hands still touch me differently. No curious web, no eye can find, lies dark within my memory. Excellence in napping. Moving slow, this samba girl, this smoky sax, moves from room to room, chore to chore, a soft imploding structure. Finally, she just hits the rack. Love for Stephen. Like moss, caressing a lone bleak stone, or a plane when it finally touches earth. There is comfort, sheer relief in loving you. River. Along the Mississippi, I would stretch out my heart, casting my line near the fishermen and the tobacco songs. Mud owned me up to my knees. The real, the tension, that's the river. That's me. Thank you.
I am Smokey Miles. At least I am today still. And this is called Prayer. I prayed to the gods above for money, health, and love. I got more than I wanted, a push and then a shove. I prayed again, and one more time, I lost the will to live. I prayed and gave to charity till I had not much more to give. I prayed unto Buddha, to Allah and Elohim. I prayed a lot, still thinking that life could be a dream. My children starved, was slaughtered. My rivers all ran dry. I prayed for my sons and daughters living neath the smoke-filled sky. I prayed for trees. I prayed for clues. I prayed for freedom everywhere, for the Messiah and for good news, for elusive love so rare. I prayed until my eyes grew dim. I squinted in the dark. I prayed for pigs and chickens and for dogs who would not bark. I prayed and suffered and prayed. I lit a light, concocted schemes, so people frozen in their prayers could vent their silent screams. I prayed once for a woman who would not pray for me. I broke the prayers of others who refused to set me free. I gasped in dark amazement at the results of all these prayers. From the rooftops and the basement, they kept praying unawares. Tsunamis, cyclones, hurricanes, onslaughts of brutal bombs, yet they prayed on just the same while these events kept coming on. Peace in the world, peace in the world. We pray for eternal peace. It's my way or the highway. Pull the trigger, now release, and pray it hits its target, and pray they won't shoot back. Or if they do, let's pray that you and I don't catch the flak. I like these prayers. They comfort me. They shelter me from storms. They fill my mind with positivity, and nothing can go wrong. The priests, they pray in one way, the rabbis in another. The lovers pray that somehow they do not lose each other. The heart is big, the heart is strange, the mind ever is expanding. Entropy goes from bad to worse and is beyond our understanding. Do they pray in outer space, strange aliens with beads, afraid that someday the human race will attack them for our needs? Do they pray deep down undersea, or are they merely just dumb fish? What about the dolphins? They are smart. Do they pray not to be a dish? Can you pray once you are dead and gone, and your soul is swimming free? Or must you pray before that for a happy eternity? No, I don't know the answers. The questions I barely do. But I tell you what, please pray for me, and I will pray for you. Thank you too much.
Hi, I'm Don Norman, and these are three short poems on contemplating the consciousness of trees. This is called History. There is an elegance to patience that's known to trees and to oceans, both of which deposit memories along the edges, while ever carving the earth into subtly new shapes. Neither believe in death, knowing well their own circular journeys, the seed producing the soil in which it grows, each droplet remembering unnumbered pathways between sky and subterranean pool. Why then should I believe in endings, who also leave memories scattered in my wake? This is called a mirror. In my dream, a tree is standing, draped in pretty ropes of light and contained in concrete. 3 shops nestle beneath its canopy with tables for coffee drinkers. There's something of the caged lion in the way the roots spill over the sidewalk, and the scars of 100 years mutely testify to the memories of a forest long departed. I wonder that it does not roar, that it does not extract itself from its manicured prison, moving off in search of some native burial ground. Perhaps this November-like discontent lay not in my wooden friend, which, after all, offers its April lushness without complaint. This is called Tree Song. Your finger falls lightly upon my skin, and so falls our illusions, like a leaf on a windless day, an unexpected, ponderous meander, brilliance fading to black soil. You think you stand alone, yet our hands reach for the same light. Our thirst is quenched by the same drink. We both suck sustenance from the same earth, made as it is from our bodies. And we have this way of kissing. You breathing out what I breathe in, I breathing in what you breathe out. 50,000 aspen trees are one being connected beneath the sightline. Your roots and my roots stretch together into every beginning, entwined, whatever the distance between our attempts to taste the sky. What I require of you is what you require of me, to be here. Breathe now, Shrink now, expand now in the light, and in the dark now contract. Sing our song, root, stem, and leaf. And if there be storms, what is a storm but the passion of dust and breath and fire? And if there be drought or pestilence, what is trouble but the winnowing of chaff to find the seed of the new morn? And if there be the morrow, what is the morrow but yet another falling illusion? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Joseph Walsh, and I've got a few poems here that, thanks to Todd, I'm able to share with you. First one's called "The Turtle Went Back into Her Den." The turtle went back into her den, deep under the deck, and they closed up the pool. The bathing suits are still hanging and will be too small for the girls come spring. There's very little to show, no record really of time. We could measure our progress by the new growth, but it hasn't rained in so long, it's difficult to know. Whatever we did, we are tired. I remember bicycles, children walking across the street, the blind leading the blind, like a shuttle through a loom. That one, for instance, over there nodding, once an insolent young man, always looking for a way to defend his pride, now barely rocking, the fire almost out, and his cat. I remember the summer out west, all of us and the kids, it seemed like a good idea. How could we have known? My God, the bugs. We were warned, but you wouldn't listen. And by January, the world lit up with the news and there was only one thing we could do. I was never comfortable in that house. I know you loved the eaves and made a sacrifice. I won't ever forget that. And it wasn't until we really got going when we hiked halfway along the ridge. Remember you said just a little farther, before the river became the sea. I'm still not sure how it all went. There weren't even pieces left. The turtle has gone under her deck, deep in her den. She won't be out before summer. This one's called "Oh Mouse." Oh Mouse, will you make your presence known, a peep, a twitch, a charm to throw me off? In your kitchen on the stove until he saw me looking for a crumb he was looking, I suppose. Strange he didn't find one, not the kitchen I knew, with stove aplenty. A foreign place, this mouse deprived, just looking eyes before you see him, so different than you see me. Light darkens the door in momentary succor as evermore I hold you in my heart, if not my hand. No stinging nettle, nor bitter taste, no sudden something. I could never live or live with or live without. Let me find here. This one's called "Leaf Blown." Leaf blown. Did you at least see the leaf, the blown, stumbling elation? I watched the swing empty, the chains silent, the scurrying after something in the shrub. Don't think you don't catch my eye, though I can't name you. Everyone has gone home with the season. They've left these hills, these fields, everything they've known. I chanced to whisper something. You responded with nothing. The tender soil where the shoots sleep, the insects burrowing somewhere, growing strong. There's no reason for the flowering wind, this blowing. The sea somewhere I haven't seen for a long time, the two in the branches kissing, we saw and watched, cooing. There's no reason to be tired, no reason to let up. Just you watch all through the window. There's plenty, stacked and ready like a deck. I think I got one more here. It's a short one. The October I remember lying in the cold grass, chancing on the grasshopper that looked at me through its lens. How many times did he see me while I tried to sleep? Now in the middle of the night, the lying moon, silent as a shell, the branches sleep, careful not to disturb the twigs. The night petals open upward like eyelids wide open. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Elaine Madsen, and I have 2 poems to share with you today. And I'm so happy to have this opportunity to be with all of you and the things that you've shared. The first one is about the 6th of January. The 6th of January awakened unaware of the infamy it would become. The Capitol awakened unaware that it would become a broil with malign defiance, fed by the evil of a leader who'd convinced his faithful marchers to trade their red, white, and blue for blind faith's yellow hue. On the ellipse, speeches brewed for teleprompters urged those assembled for their leader's benediction to begin his pre-planned insurrection, as democracy idled in its charging documents, unaware that his co-conspirators would soon be marching to try and undo it, believing they were being patriotic. The leaders faithful climbed the steps of the Capitol, and upon the walls and scaffolding poised for the celebration, they hoped they could abort. With their own raw evil, they strode into the chambers, hoping to suffocate democracy in its cradle, bearing the flag of the Civil War's insurrection, as if that one had been religious. His conspirators did succeed in fouling the walls and floors of the building, but the structure of democracy still breathes in its charging documents. As citizens in Congress examine what happened that day to determine if the leader's evil is being reseated in new followers, his new evil being tilled as I speak. I have one more. Suicide is not a solo. Its orchestra of grief etches itself in acid in the space where who you were is now an empty hollow. At his funeral, there were military honors, a flag folding ceremony with flags for widow and mother, and gunshots. Gunshots that thudded in my brain. That sound, that terrible sound was the very last sound he ever heard. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shirley. Since it's Poetry Month, I'd like to read an ode to poetry. Poetry is its own song. Its rhymes and meters move the story along. Each piece is its own declaration with its story of woe or celebration. Poetry is its own measure, bringing mystery to some treasure. The words lead us to discover what was lost, we can now recover. Poetry is its own song. Writing, poetry writing. Writing is like an exorcism of the mind. Get it out of your head and onto the page. Release the demon, get rid of the rage. Words of wisdom, you know you're quite the sage. Get over yourself, get out and engage. Writing is the extension of your mind. Cycles. Dawn breaks, dew glistens, cocks crow. Who listens? Workers stir, mothers rise, fathers leave, and babies cry. Noon warms, midday high, but soon it cools, dusk is nigh. Supper's ready, families greet, moon is full, day's complete. Droopy eyes and sleepy faces, all to bed in their places. Night falls, undercover, sweet dreams amongst lovers. Night noise, wolves bay, owls screech, cats play. Still dark, more sleep. Baby's quiet, not a peep. Light sliver, perhaps the moon. It's almost morn. I'll wait and wake soon. Dawn breaks. Civility. If civility is lost, so are we. If civility is lost, we cannot be free. If civility is lost, there's no truth in us. The civility is lost, we can't open new doors. What happened to the Bill of Rights that protects our civility? Instead, there is violence that disintegrates our gentility. There's so much anti-everything. We have no sensibility. All that's left is fear and ire and so much negativity. What has happened to America? We have lost our credibility. The land of the free and the home of the brave, the course is fading. We have lost our civility. But there is that chance we could change. We can care about the Constitution and rearrange our thinking, our hatred, our protests, all in shame. One man, one president, who's to blame? Put down your weapons and put away your ire. Soon enough, this will be old and you will tire. Let's be civil. Wave the American flag so proud. And once again, we can still be the beacon in the crowd if civility is lost. Thank you.
Hello, hello, hello. Good evening to you all. My name is Michael Cavanaugh. Bonsoir, mes amis. Moi, je m'appelle Michel Cavanaugh. The piece what I'm going to read for you tonight is called Silliness. Sometimes yay, sometimes nay. House lights to black, stage lights to bright, anticipation at a great, great height. I emerge from the wings, I take my place, I find me light, and I begin. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, un, deux, trois, quatre. Oh, solo mio, pasta fazool. But suddenly, out of the blue, I hear from the crowd, no, 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 they cry, no more, no more. You've done it once, twice, 3 times, and 4, blithering and blathering, poppycocking and palavering, spewing silliness and nonsense a bunch. Wait, says I, hold on a mo. Blithering and blathering, poppycocking and palavering, silliness and nonsense a bunch. Well, okay, sometimes, yay, but sometimes nay. What about these ideas what I've brought about? The rise and fall of the Roman Empire? Not bad. Humpty Dumpty and his great fall? Also not bad. Come down from your tower, start sharing the power. Yeah, that's a good one. We are all one big family. That is true for both me and you. Reminders, that's all I'm saying, just reminders to take off the blinders, keep our minds open, our eyes and ears peeled, so the current situation don't become sealed. And remember this one. Be nice today. Be nice today. Be nice today, today. Be nice today. Well, that's a good idea, even if I said so myself. And so, with all of that having been said, now what? Oh dear, oh double D dear. Shall I, or should I? Can I, or could I? Is it even possible that must I wake up in the middle of the night get out of the bed, come into the room, turn on the light so I could write another poem. Another poem about what? No prompt given, no idea offered. A poem about nothing? Is a poem about nothing a poem? What is a poem? What is nothing? Is it possible there is such a thing as nothing? That's an interesting idea to write a poem about. Nothing. No thing. What if I sing the words of the poem? Do they become lyrics about nothing? And does a poem become a song about nothing? Get out of the bed, come into the room, turn on the light so I can write another poem, an Edgar Allan poem, a 4-minute Mario poem, a climb a Mount Everest poem, writing a poem about writing a poem. I could go on and on, but I won't. Thank you, you say. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God blimey, enough is enough. Silliness and nonsense, a bunch. Oh, wait, it's all right. It's all right. Because late at night, well, you just never know, what might crop up and make it in the show. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Some silliness and nonsense too. But also some reminders to take off the blinders, to roll up our sleeves and be nice today, and tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. And so, as I said before, with all of that having been said, here we go once again, one more time, coming to the end. But with one final question for you to consider, or not. Is there such a thing as nothing? No thing? Just asking. Ta, love.
Thank you all so very much. That was wonderful. You guys were all fantastic. I'm hoping everybody can hear me right now. All the poets are back on. You guys could all unmute yourself. So for the next, 5 or 10 minutes, we're getting close to the top of the hour. But for the next 5 or 10 minutes, if anybody has any questions or comments to the evening in general, please, feel free. You could raise your hand. Anybody in our YouTube audience, I know we have a big YouTube audience. You guys just type it in and I'll read it out loud. I do want to say, the evening was beautiful. And I'm finding, I was also at an event last night where there were a few solo shows, and there's, everything is becoming what's happening in the world is really affecting people and their shows. And and their voices. I won't say their shows, but their voices, what they have to say, what they need to say. I want to ask just anybody can chime in, just if you're finding that your own tone and your own mindset has shifted over these last, however many months or over this year, just as our current events have shifted themselves. Anybody can chime in. Just unmute yourself first. No one?
And the misery factor has increased quite a bit.
The misery factor.
Yeah, the earth is in a big turmoil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I said in my poem, Civility, it's lost. And I think this is how it started, well, maybe before, but COVID hasn't helped it any.
Right.
And
I agree with you.
We're all looking at something.
I find that my tone is there's, first of all, this reminds me of a New Yorker cartoon I saw the other day, which was the character saying, I find myself caught between my consistent desire to be well informed and my other persistent desire to remain sane. And the world is so painful right now, and the trajectory of our world is so painful that it's I go back and forth between writing out of rage, which I was expressed so eloquently by Kevin, and staying close, staying inside, and kind of shutting out the world and trying to find just the voice of who I am today apart from all of that. And so I think that there's a back and forth. That's what I'm finding.
Thank you. Thanks, Don. G. Anna O. If you just unmute yourself, you're on.
Did I unmute? Are we unmuted? Can you hear us?
Yes, we can.
Yes. We just wanted to say that, I don't know, can you see us? No, just hear us, right?
Can't see you. Yeah, we can only hear you.
Incredibly professional and like high level of artistry and thought-provoking poems. We are just absolutely blown away. We didn't expect it, but we're just blown away. We want you to know it. And
Thank
we
you.
were especially touched with this young poetess, Moreau. It was incredible, like so many things that ring true and like very, personal for us also. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Where are you listening from? Where are you watching from?
Right now we're in Santa Barbara.
Oh, okay, great.
But we are in an international group, like many of us.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you for putting this amazing thing on, like now we are hooked. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Right, Lisa Richards from Florida, maybe? Lisa, just unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi.
I thought it was just really, just the most wonderful. It was, every single one of you resonated with me. Maybe talk to you individually, but it was really so special and so such a gift. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. It's nice to know you're there.
Oh, yes, no question. I was thrilled that you're there. Thank God. Yes.
Thank you, Lisa. Great to hear your voice. Wonderful. Patricia, just unmute yourself, Patricia.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're on. Go for it.
I've listened to many of your programs over the last couple of years. My brother, Michael Cavanaugh, is part of most of them. So
oh, fantastic.
I was introduced a long time ago and I love listening. And it just struck me tonight listening to virtually every one of the poets tonight was reflected in my mind in what's been going on, not just in our own country, but also in Ukraine, and the misery and the suffering and the fear and the helplessness and what can we do. And so you were talking about, did you notice a change in your mode or your mood? Correct. It was so striking to me that so many of you were addressing those very issues. And in all the times that I've listened to what you've presented, this is the first time that anything like that, I've been aware of anything like that. Very, very deep, very human, very mysterious, the way that we have to deal with what's happening in the world today. So it, I think, was a great reflection of many people in our country and in our world. And so for that, I thank you all and appreciate your artistry in putting it together. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Patty. I'll send the check.
Of course you will, honey.
Everything is just, the world is impacting us in so many different ways right now. And I am so thrilled with poetry and the poets that we have who are able to express themselves and not rid themselves of the energy, but really vocalize what so many of us are going through and feel in such an eloquent way. It's really, art is powerful. Art is just beautiful, and especially when it's done in such a wonderful way as our poets. I just want to read. I want to read one note here. So Monique says, "Thank you all for the gift of your voices, Moreau. I'm wondering what other creative platforms you use to share your voice. I would love to hear from the others as well."
Thanks, Mom. Yeah, thank you. I'm a musician, so I play drums. I play a drum set and the djembe, which is a West African drum. And I love making videos, so I actually have these 3 poems in a video that I could put the link in the comments if y'all would want to watch some other time.
Yes, thank you.
Please
yeah,
do. Please do.
cool. Thank you all. This has been amazing.
Yeah, this was Moreau's first time, and definitely not the last. So don't go far. You have an open invitation forever and ever. And just so you know, this is certainly a community, and community of artists. So we do share because everybody has multiple disciplines. Thankfully, I know everybody. I've learned to know everybody pretty well, and everybody is so multi-talented, and they're all brilliant. So anytime you want to share with others, and you don't know how to, just reach out to me, and I'll make sure that everybody's connected. And we'll make that happen. If there's anyone else, I saw there was one hand that went up and then it disappeared. So I don't know if that was a miss. Elaine, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I wanted to say that, we were closed down for so long and not being able to see anyone or actually encounter each other in an easy way. And it felt so wonderful to begin to feel like writing again. And then just when you get started, suddenly we have this horrendous war on the other side of the world that you cannot look away from. And it's just really wonderful that we have an audience today, that people came with their ears open to hear poetry, even though that's going on. I felt really lucky to be able to have a place to share what I wanted to say. It's a real gift. Somebody was mentioning about, it was wonderful us to share what we're doing, but there aren't that many places to share what we do. So smartphone theater is really a gift.
Oh, thank you. Your pieces are so powerful, Elaine. Thank you for sharing. So powerful. I want to read just Stan Davis. Stan said, "Just want to say, this is in our Q&A. Just want to say it was a beautiful evening. Thank you all. We need this. The world is a mess, and the United States is leading it. Loved the poem about civility. Michael, what a great accent, and loved your poem, telling us to be kind and nice today." Iris Gilad, beautiful and moving. Thank you for bearing and sharing your souls. And then someone who's anonymous, Michael C. for Secretary of State. State is in quality of being, not the stagnant thing on the map defining its borders. He's open to the world, free of the frozen fragment of self. What would it be for the world to have that adult giddiness to remind us that we are invited to this crazy? So, yeah, really just wonderful. All right. If anyone else has anything, please type something or feel free to raise your hands. Otherwise, I'm going to say to our poets, a few new people, we do a little rap party afterwards, a virtual rap party. So as soon as we say goodbye, check your emails, and there'll be another Zoom link where we all just have a little a group virtual hug. So don't go far. Check your emails as soon as we say goodbye. And to everybody in our audience, thank you again. I have a feeling that Sundays are going to stick. So make sure you check smartphonetheater.com for our upcoming schedule. Our next performance is a play which is going to be on the 24th of this month. So two Sundays from today, we will have a play up. And then our next poetry reading will be in June. So I don't know the exact date, but it will be in June. So everybody here on screen, just mark that down and get writing. And we'll see you again in June. And to our audience, please share with your friends and please share with everybody else in the world. Feel free to subscribe. You can subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on our smartphonetheater.com. But this is a big community and it's a global community. So share, tell your friends. We keep raising the bar. So if you liked what you saw tonight, just know that we're going to keep on raising the bar. And we thank all of you guys for visiting, for spending your Sunday afternoon with us. All right. So does anybody else have anything to share? Any poets have anything to share?
Yeah, the name of my poem was "Do the Dishes." Do the dishes.
All right.
You hear that? Do the dishes.
Do the dishes. I got it.
Okay.
I got it. All right. Everybody, thank you again for spending your Sundays with us. To our poets, I'll see you in 3 minutes on another link. So, and everybody else, we hope to see you again in 2 weeks. All right. Thank you. Have a great night.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.